Hey guys, welcome back to 𝐈2 here. Today gonna try and keep the energy up, keep things going quick, because this is gonna be my first ever Marvel Snap video. Now, for those of you who know me, back at the Game Awards, I remember Marvel Snap won Game of the Year, and I was like, oh, I've known about this game. I would never play a card game. That's dumb. Card games all suck. But it won Game of the Year, so I tried it out and quickly became addicted to Marvel Snap. I've been wanting to make a Marvel Snap video for quite a while. I'm still going to make a normal Marvel Snap sort of gameplay video, but today we're going to be creating 3 cards, brand new cards, that I think could actually work in Marvel Snap. These are 3 new Marvel Snap characters from Marvel that aren't in the game, with 3 brand new abilities straight out of my own dome. And I've made art for all these cards. I've even tried to do a little bit of the 3D effect on these cards. So if you're a Marvel Snap fan, this should be a pretty cool video for you, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you're a normal viewer of the channel, this is my first Marvel Snap video, and probably going to be more to come. This one's more of like an arty kind of project, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Let's get straight into the cards. So as I said, these are 3 characters that are not in Marvel Snap yet, which means they're sort of deep pulls, as most of the main headliner Marvel characters are, of course, already in the game. This is not new artwork for cards that already exist. This is 3 brand new cards and characters that are not in the game right now. Starting with the very first, the Shroud. I made a few different artworks. I made about 3 different card arts for him. Now, the Shroud ability, he's a 3/2, and on reveal, he jumps to the opponent's side, and then on going, you see the opposing player's hand. Now, this card I think would be extremely good in the game. It has very high utility. At first, you're probably thinking it's super overpowered, but I think it has enough counters and interactions that would make it very, very good, a very good control card, very viable, but also easy to counter and benefit off of if it's used against you. So like I said, the way it would work is basically if I were to play it on turn 3, it's basically a 3/2 because it goes across to the other lane. Now you can use this to your own advantage if you're trying to jump him across onto like a Wong or onto somewhere he's trying to build up, something like that, and you're trying to disrupt that sort of cohesion that he has going. He's also, you know, a 2, which maybe that's a little low, or you could throw him across on a bar with no name or something like that, and you'd be doing pretty good. But in general, he's a 3/2. So he goes to their side, and the reason I used the Shroud for this is because this character is, like I said, a deep pull, but he's a pretty cool, interesting looking Marvel character that at one point spied on the Fantastic Four. So I needed sort of like a spy type character, and that's what I was able to find. So maybe it doesn't work, maybe it doesn't fit exactly, but it fits for what I need it for. So the Shroud sort of is your man on the inside. He's your spy who jumps across, and he starts, you know, helping out the other guys, but he's actually feeding you information. So the way this would work is their whole hand would be sort of at the top of your screen, like how your hand is at the bottom. So if you think of him in comparison to other cards that kind of work like this for balancing, if he were Daredevil, for example, a 2/2 who shows you exactly what they do on turn 5, their exact move, that's pretty strong. He's one of the best cards in the game. He's an extremely powerful control card. If the Shroud is to be compared to that, he's a 3/2 because he goes on their side. So he's got that downside already. And he shows you the hand the entire time, which is extremely powerful, but you don't actually see exactly what lanes they're playing into on turn 4, 5, or 6. So he has, you know, that as a bit of a trade-off. But just seeing their 6 card, their 5 card, you know what they're going to do. It's not exactly where they're going to do it. This guy could save you so many cubes if you have the ability to see, like, oh, they have, you know, a leader, or they have whatever they may have. Oh, they're going to do this. They're going to play a Wong on 4, into a Tiger, into an Odin. They're going to do a Wong, into a Toxic, into a blah, blah, blah. You can see exactly what they're going to do, just not exactly sure where, and that gives you a lot of counterplay ability. And even though you're losing the 2 power, and you're pretty much losing any power that you would have had on the 3rd turn, you are gaining a lot of information and intelligence in your match. So I think that he would actually be pretty viable. And you might think, you know, overpowered, underpowered. I think he's pretty solid. I've put a lot of thought into these guys, and I think the Shroud on reveal, jump to their side, give them a little 2 power. You know, that's your 3 turn. That's all you get. but you can see the opposing player's hand the turn 4, 5, and 6. With certain decks where you're building and you just need those last 4, 5, and 6, it's not going to be so bad to lose out on turn 3 so that you can see what they're doing. And like I said, it's going to save you a lot of cubes. So that has been the Shroud, and let's move on. You could see the 3D effect. I didn't do the best job. There's the last card we're going to look at. I saved the best for last. I think the 3D effect that I tried on that was actually really good. This one is a little lazier. It's hard with the art options I have because there's not a lot of art for these really deep pull niche characters, but I think he turned out alright. Moving on to Space Shark. This is not really like a character from Marvel more per se. It's more of like a species, I guess. It's just a recurring sort of enemy that is in a lot of the Guardians and like Thor comics. Anytime you're in outer space, within the Marvel universe, there are space sharks. They work just like a shark does, but in outer space. They're described as being extremely fast and dangerous, and they're a shark, but in space. They attack you, they try to eat you. Now, again, the 3D effect on this one is not the best. I left his leg cropping in, but I think it gets the point across, and I like the little bullets coming out. It looks pretty cool, right? This artwork I also really like. It's like the Guardians fighting the shark. I think it looks really cool as a card. But talking about how the card works, this is a card that is a 3 and 6 power, so pretty strong, and it can move every turn anytime you want, but it loses 1 power each time it moves. I think this card is probably the most legitimately possible card of the ones that I've made. I think this card would fit very well with the other cards in Marvel Snap. Especially move decks need a lot of love. This is a 3/6, so originally I was thinking 3/7, but then I figured that if you would just put him down and never moved him at all, he's a 3/7, which is the same as Maximus, but he has no downsides. And so I lowered it to 3/6. Captain Marvel, of course, is a 5/6, but she moves herself to the exact location that you need her. So I feel like she's still a little stronger, even being a 5. And then, of course, Vision is an easy comparison. He's a 5/7. He can move anytime he wants, just flat out, but you're really only moving on turn 6 unless you get to play him early. So I think this 3/6 and the power goes down every time you move adds a lot of these mind games. So you play him on turn 3, and then you move him on to turn 4, he turns into a 3/5. You move him on the next turn, he's a 3/4. If you have to keep moving him to avoid whatever or to trick your opponent, he keeps lowering. Part where this comes in and becomes a very strong card in a movement deck is if you combine it with things like Kraven or any real other cards that have interactions with movement. But even with Kraven, for example, if I'm moving this card off of Kraven and back onto Kraven and then off and back onto Kraven, I'm losing 1 power on the shark each time he moves, but Kraven's gaining 2 power each time it moves onto Kraven. So as long as you work it out and then maybe hit it with a slide at the end with Heimdall, you're getting some decent benefit out of the card. And I just think it would be a pretty decent card. 3/6, even if you only move it once, that is like a free move, like a Nightcrawler or whatever, but it's a 3/5 at that point. So I think Space Shark is a pretty cool card. I like both these art that I was able to find. There's one where he's fighting Thor, and there's one where he's fighting the Guardians. Different kinds of sharks. They have hammerheads, and they got great whites, and they got all kinds of crazy stuff. But that is Space Shark. That's my idea for that one. Now on to the creme de la creme, the final card we're going to be looking at today, Belladonna. Another character I'm sure no one has ever heard of. This is Belladonna. She's from certain X-Men comics with Gambit, I believe. And the idea behind this card is I was trying to find an assassin type character, and that's where I found Belladonna. She was in the Assassin's Guild or something like that. And the reason I wanted an assassin is because Belladonna is a 5/0, where after each turn you destroy 1 enemy card at her location. And also, this is the one, look at that 3D art. That actually works. The background is opposite of it looks pretty good. Am I right? Anyways, she would be played on turn 5, and her best comparison, since she's a 5/0, is probably Iron Man, where he also is a 5/0, and he doubles your value at that lane. Your power is now doubled, So that includes the 6 card you put there as well, because he's ongoing. And an idea behind Belladonna, if she's too powerful, is to switch this to ongoing after each turn, destroy 1 enemy card at this location, so that then she can be shut down by an Enchantress or something like that. And also earlier talking about, you know, the Shroud, he could be shut down by Enchantress pretty easily. This card, you have still turn 6 to counterplay Belladonna. You can play armor there if you need to. You can, you know, find a way around her. But as of right now, I think destroy one enemy card at this location each turn means you can play her on a location where they maybe just put their 5 if you're lucky. If you know where their 5 is going to end up, that would work out. If you know where they're trying to build. But if they don't just play their 5 there, then you're playing a 5 that is going to kill a 4 or a 3 or 3 and then a 4, or, you know, whatever. It's going to kill earlier cards. So it's not quite as strong as you might think. But if they're playing something obvious into a lane, or they're using, you know, like Mystique or Patriot or someone ongoing, you can play her there. She's going to assassinate 1 at the end of turn 5 and 1 at the end of turn 6. Now, compared to Iron Man, like I said, he sort of doubles your power. She would be essentially halving theirs. Like if they had a 4-card stack, you'd kill one, kill the other. At random, so, you know, they could have better or worse cards there that you want to kill. Like if it's a Squirrel and, you know, the Hulk on the same lane, they could quickly add a bunch of other ones there on their last turn, you know, and then maybe she shoots the 1 and she leaves the Hulk and he still wins the lane. So there's ways to counterplay around her, but I think she would be extremely strong, but she's also a 5/0, but she's taking so much power from the enemy. So unless they armor counterplay you, chances are you will win the lane that you play her in. But again, she can be played around. If they have an ability to spread out a lot of power, an Ultron, a Doom, maybe a Zola to save whatever's there and move it somewhere else, she can be played around, but I think in general this card is really interesting in the way that it would work. 2 free kills, but at random across from her. So, you know, there's much more broken things in the game, like Gambit, for example, if you're looking at destroying cards on the other side. Even a Shang-Chi on turn 6, he's only a 3. This is 2 kills, and it's at random, so it doesn't have to be something over 9. And I think Belladonna could fit in pretty well. I also really like the art that I was able to find for her. She looks like a cool character. Apparently she was supposed to be in the X-Men quite a while ago, but the casting fell through. So who knows, maybe some character we'll actually see soon in the MCU, you never know. But this has been a look at 3 cards that I designed that I think could fit into Marvel Snap. I know it's a little jank, it was a little scuff. This is my first time trying something like this, but like I said, I've been really enjoying Marvel Snap and having a lot of fun playing the game and climbing and enjoying just, you know, it's a really good game. It's a mobile game, and it's probably the game I play the most now. Like, I really love Marvel Snap a lot. I have never been into card battlers at all, and so playing one that is like this good that I actually like it and want to play it from someone who has no interest in the genre at all. If you already like card battlers, you will love Marvel Snap, I think. But this has been my 3 cards. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed these ideas. If you like these ideas, you like the way they look, you know, post them around, like the video, share the video, go, you know, throw it in the Snap Discord or the Snap Reddit, or tweet it at someone from Marvel Snap or whatever. I think that these cards are actually pretty put together. If you've got opinions on them, or ways you think they could be better or worse, or what's too broken or what's insane, you know, I honestly think Space Shark might be a little underpowered, but what do I know? These cards, I think, could fit in pretty well. You can't always add like the best card ever, you know, power creep. Sometimes you just gotta add like a decent card, or, you know, sometimes you get cards like Angel, and they're horrible. You never know. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Everyone new who's watching this, you know, who doesn't know me, I am planning on doing more Marvel Snap stuff, but I also do gaming videos all the time, some comedy stuff here and there. The channel's pretty small, so if you enjoyed this video, you like the look that you got, be sure to subscribe. I like to kind of keep things mellow. I said I was going to have high energy this video, and that didn't really happen. I don't know, I just like to try and be real when I'm in front of the camera. But for those of you who don't know me, check out the channel. I appreciate it very much. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And for those of you who do know me, hopefully you still enjoyed the video despite not, you know, having an interest in Marvel Snap. I highly recommend you check the game out. It's a lot of fun. A new season is starting right away, like in a week. So take this as your chance. You can finish the tutorial season in like a week, and then bam, you get the brand new season. I think you guys would enjoy the game a lot. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. The Shroud, Belladonna, and Space Shark coming to Marvel Snap. checks in the mail, I hope. Am I getting paid for this?